Okay, alright, so let's talk about these word problems. Okay, so when you're doing word problems that are from systems of equations, you basically need to find two equations in each word problem. Sometimes they're a little bit easier to find than others, and sometimes they require a little bit more of a critical mind when you do so. The sum of two numbers is 90. So basically that first sentence alone is going to be an equation. You might want to start out by saying let x equal, the first number, and let y equal the second number. If you want to do it just for labeling reasons, for this problem it's not as big of a deal, but for other problems it does help when they want specific answers. Here we're just finding two generic numbers. Okay, so let's do the first equation. Is the sum of two numbers is 90. So x plus y equals 90. That's the first equation. And the second sentence is that their difference is 18. So these same numbers, you would put x minus y equals 18. It shouldn't matter if you happen to switch them around. No matter what, you'll still get the same two answers. When I see the system of equations like this one is already leaning towards elimination because you can stack the two equations like I did, and the positive y and the negative y will cancel out. Now from here we're going to combine like terms. So x and x would make 2x, and 90 and 18 would make 108. From here, I'm just going to solve for x. I'll divide by 2, and then I'll get x equals 54. So my first number is going to be 54. To find the other number, you simply use one of your original equations. Either use x plus y equals 90 or use x minus y equals 18. I'm going to choose to use the x plus y is 90 just because it'll be a little bit faster and a little bit harder to make a mistake on. So this will be 54 plus y equals 90. Subtract 54 from both sides. Y equals 36, and these would be your two numbers. X equals 54 and y equals 36. Now when you move on to different problems, we'll do one that maybe is a little bit more, it's a little different. Let's skip number 2. Let's go straight to number 3. You know what, let's do number 4. Okay, so number 4, your teacher is giving you a test worth 100 points containing 40 questions. So this piece of information, the whole first sentence has two important pieces of information. There's 100 points on this test and there are 40 questions on this test. That's not enough to make an equation yet, but we will need this information to build our equations, but there's got to be a little bit more. So there are 2-point and 4-point questions on the test. How many of each type of question are on the test? Alright, so there's two things to talk about. There's points, and then there's the questions and the point value that is associated with those questions. Alright, so let's just talk about this. The 100 points. So let's do the 40 questions first. There are 40 questions, okay, and there are 2-point questions. So the X questions, we'll say, are worth 2 points. And if we combine those with the 4-point questions, which will be the Y one, that'll equal a total of 100 points. Okay, so how I figured out this equation is simple. X and Y represent the different types of equations, but the 2 and the 4 are their point values. And since I'm using their point values, I'm going to use the total amount of points on this test. So I'm basically trying to figure out the breakdown of this test in terms of what kind of questions are on it. I do know that X questions plus Y questions equals 40 questions. So these are my two types of questions, and however many types of questions I have total up to 40 types of questions, 40 questions. Alright, so here are your two equations. Now, you can't really eliminate them yet. You could try substitution where you solve for one variable, but this looks like elimination if I just do a little bit of tweaking with it. So I'm going to multiply this bottom equation by 2. And if I do that, what I'll get when I multiply, by negative 2, is I'll get negative 2x minus 2y equals negative 80. So now this is my new equation. The bottom one has been manipulated so that I can cancel out. So I'm going to put the original first equation over, and it'll be 2x plus 4y equals 100. From here, this is elimination, and I can cancel out the positive 2x and the negative 2x, and now I have just one variable left to worry about. 4y minus 2y is 2y, and 100 minus 80 is 20. If I divide by 2, I'll get y equals 10. So there are 10 of the 4-point questions there, because y is my 4-point questions. Alright, so now let's choose an equation. Use either the 2x plus 4y equals 100, or we'll use the x plus y equals 40. I'm going to choose to use the x plus y equals 40. I'm going to use this one and not our new equation, because this is much simpler to use. This was our original equation. So I'm just going to go over here, and if x plus y equals 40, and I know that y is 10, this means x plus 10 equals 40. That means that there are 30 questions that are the 2-point questions. So here are my answers as 30 and 10. Alright, let's see what else we have. Let me see.
Please excuse the interruption. All chorus solo audition